Good evening, everybody, and thanks for being here. This is amazing turnout for Johnny and Matthew, but I'm not surprised. Flames fans, right from the beginning, we heard this tragic news coming out the first day. There was just a little bit right here, and every day when I came out, there was more and more and more. And now to see all of you here, this is what makes me proud to be a Calgarian, and this is what made Johnny so proud of this city. My relationship with Johnny went far behind this arena. We had a bond that extended to his family, which I will cherish forever. Following their deaths, it took a couple days for me to compose myself before I could attempt to show my love for Johnny and the Gaudreau family. I believe the best way I can do that tonight is to share some stories more from the beginning before he became Johnny Hockey for the Calgary Flames. And the first one was when we were getting ready to draft Johnny. We have the same agent, so I'm on the floor. We were going to get ready to take. I see Lewis in the stand, and I said, okay, it's our pick. We're going to take Johnny right now. I said, I'm just looking for you. I can't wait to meet him. And he said, oh, I didn't bring him. He's too small. I'm like, what? He said, I know he's small. He goes, oh, he's small, Craig. So that was the first thing I'm thinking, well, okay, I know. And then you look at the size, you're thinking, okay, he's small. 2 days later or 3 days later, we were in the Flames locker room, and Jay Fieser and I walked downstairs. And we walked down, Johnny was in the locker room with a backpack on. The backpack was normal size backpack, but it looked giant. And I looked at Johnny, and Jay goes, is that one of the brothers? I said, no, that's Johnny Gaudreau. He's like, he is small. And from that moment on, we were out at Don Hartman, and I thought, well, let's see what it's all about. And we were watching the first half of practice. Johnny made one pass. He went to the blue line, spinorama, threw a backhand sauce all the way across the ice, right on the guy's stick. I said, that's a great pass. Had to be lucky. And then he made another one and another one. And then we played a little area game, and Lance Boomba, who was playing in the American League at the time, and Chris Breen were out against him. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be a challenge. Well, he embarrassed them. They didn't know what to do. And I, watching, I said, okay, he's small. I go down and said, guys, we need to finish our checks, play hard. Don't let him do that. They said, okay, we're going to watch what we do here, Craig. So I go back up, I'm watching. It got worse. And after I went down, and both guys said, this kid is amazing. And that was really the first time I thought, wow, we might have something special here. Fast forward 2 years, it was another development camp, and it was the first time I saw Monty and Johnny come together. Off the ice, but we thought, you know what, let's put them together and see how they do on the ice. And the instant chemistry, it was exciting just to be up there to watch. In your mind, you're thinking, is this going to be a tandem that's together for years to come in the future and kind of bring the Flames where we want to be? And to see that bond with those two people grow and become the friends they are. And I thought of the day I saw Monty sign in Columbus, and knowing the young boys are going to be together, and I know they're going to be together for the next 5 years. It's a special thing, and that's what made Johnny. Him and Monty's relationship was something that I've very seldom seen in the NHL. So, those are the warm moments that bring me back. The hard part for me is when I went to get him in Philadelphia. It was the Final Four, and they lost. And I remember we were trying to find him after the game. Peter Hanlon and I were looking for him. We couldn't find the boys. And we ran into Mr. and Mrs. Gaudreau, and it was not a very warm reception. And I thought, this is not good. And the next thing you know, we had a little conversation with Guy, and I said, it's going to be great for Johnny. He says, well, I don't know if he's a Brian Burke type player. I said, he's exactly Brian Burke type player. He's going to have a lot of protection around him. And Guy said, well, I do like the sound of that. And then all of a sudden, as I turned, fittingly, I saw the two brothers walking down the hall, and I thought, oh, finally, here they come. And you know what? They're just, if you know Johnny, you know Matthew. They're just so, the bond between them, I can't even put into words. But I remember Johnny walked up and said, oh, what are you guys doing here? I'm like, well, we came to get you. He's like, oh, okay. And about 6 hours later, when we finally got the contract done, through a lot of me sweating because I wasn't sure how it was going to go. And it wasn't because he didn't want to come to Calgary, but it was because he wanted to play one more year with his brother and stay at BC. And then sure enough, we talked him into it. And really, in reality, he told me after that he didn't even register for classes, so we were going to be good to go. But sitting on that plane, flying back, we just went over. He had won the Hobie Baker. And all of a sudden I said, okay, I'm tired, Pete. I'm going to the plane. I'll see you guys there. So my agent gave me a sub for him. And I'm thinking, okay, he's going to be hungry. We sit in the plane. We're flying. He's like, I'm starving. He takes 2 bites of that sub. And I'm thinking, well, he's starving and he's not going to finish the sub. All of a sudden, he rolls up the sub, puts it under his seat. And I thought, well, I guess he wasn't that hungry. Out came a big bag of Skittles. For the next 25, 30 minutes, he just pounded those Skittles. And I'm thinking, this is the next superstar of the Calgary Flames? I don't know about that. But 2 nights later, when we saw him score that goal, and then, that's where, for me, that's when I thought, this is going to be special. And over the next 9 years, I had a privilege, front row, watching him go from a young boy, mature into an NHL superstar, but more importantly, he grew into a wonderful man, son, husband, and father. What we inherited along with Johnny turned out to be more incredible and special relationship that we'll ever have with the Gaudreau family. Jane and Guy and their children came to love Calgary, and the Flames fans embraced them as one of their own. And the city turned Guy and Jane into rock stars, garnishing them more TV time than Johnny would get on game nights. To Meredith, Johnny's wife, children, Noah and little Johnny, Jane, Guy, sister Katie, Kristen, Matthew's wife, Madeline, Calgary will continue to be here for you and will always welcome you with open arms and hearts. We're going to miss you, Johnny. We all love you.